My blade can cut through armor and still cut a tomato.
It's very hidden in that a lot of strategies, like if you go Farseer first, it's only a matter of time before the elf sees that you've gone Farseer, and the sooner they see that you've gone Farseer, the sooner they know that you're probably going to tower rush or do something strange, be very aggressive. Because Farseer doesn't hold up in the late game the same way the Blade Master does. And it's a lot easier to harass the Farseer than it is to harass the Blade Master. And it's a lot harder to creep up your second hero with a Farseer than it is to creep up the Blade Master. They might also scout a no racks build, a late racks build, a no second burrow build, an early lounge build. All of these things alert the elf that you're doing something other than what is standard. So you're going to see when checks Scout Wisp, which is Arctic the Tavern, when it comes in, he's going to see standard. He's going to see 2 burrows, barracks, and an altar. And he's even going to see the Blade Master. And even if he doesn't see the Blade Master, every elf in the world is assuming Blade Master in this matchup. Yeah, he sees the Blade Master. So right there, he already knows, or he can assume safely, that Eric's going with a standard build and a standard game. First thing you're going to notice, he heads straight to the Goblin Merchant, sells his port, grabs the circlet in the dust, and heads to harass Check's base. This is unusual because it's very hard on maps like this, on maps like Tyrannistan, to prevent the elf from getting that AOW creep in. And you'll see it really surprises, takes Check by surprise that the Blade Master's there so early. In my opinion, he should have killed that troll instead of letting the Demon Hunter get it, and he'd probably have time to do it. He didn't even get the archer kill, which is why he's probably making that smiley face right there. But anyways, he's right to come in and harass, and because unfortunately Check got a circlet, but because the Blade Master has a circlet, he can really stand up with this grunt to the 1 archer and the 1 demon hunter, which is what's standard build right now for elves who are Ancient of War creeping. And he's also, if you're noticing, he hasn't been able to prevent Check from attacking, but he's going to cancel quite a few Moonwells, and he's going to use up a lot of Check's Moon Juice, both of which are really effective alternatives to creeping yourself, given this open base build. And obviously Check was going to seal his base, so if Eric had crept for level 2 and come in, it would have been too late because the base would have been sealed off, and the wisps would have been safe. I love saying wisps on an audio, I always mess that up. Anyways, you see, even though he's been able to take the Blade Master down in health a lot, the grunts still have full health, and the Demon Hunter doesn't, so the Demon Hunter can't stand up to both these grunts attacking it and the Blade Master. And he's forced quite a few burrow cancellations, which is really, it's not only costing Check wood to cancel the burrows, but also the wisp that is building the burrows isn't mining wood for him. So he ends up with a lot less wood for his tech than he's used to, than what would be comfortable. The other advantage to this build is because you're straight harassing, you don't need to build an early Voodoo Lounge, which you do need to build if you're creeping with the Blade Master, since he's going to take damage. And the advantage to that is that you get a faster tech. And his harassment has been so successful, and I really believe Eric wasn't planning on doing the strategy he's going to do at the game's opening, but his harassment was really successful, so what he's done is he's thrown up a War Mill. Obviously, the elf Check doesn't know that, but we as observers do. And for us, automatically we know a War Mill probably means tower rush. The only other reason to build a War Mill in the early game like this is if your lumber income has been damaged significantly, and that'll help. In theory, that'll help make up for your damaged lumber. And then just as he's going back to his base to heal, he sends 3 peons out of his base to go the long way around the map. And you don't need to be a genius to figure out what those peons are doing. Here, however, he makes the first mistake of the game. He sends his Blade Master out to that wisp instead of running to get the boots, and that's going to cost him. And the Demon Hunter gets level 2. Not a huge deal. It's not something that's ideal by any means, because he had such a great early game. That to make that mistake kind of sucks, but it's alright because it's a level 1 Blade Master and it's going to come back very quickly. And besides, how many games for self can you say that you won when you made a mistake like losing your hero to the Demon Hunter very early on? Not too many, at least not in my experience. This is where Check, I'm sure, he might get some idea of what's going on because he saw the War Mill and he knows that Eric's not tier 2. But you'll see the towers are going up and they're outside of Check's Fog of War. wanted to check that. You're welcome to, but Check can't see those towers. He heads to the tavern, and this is where you know something's up. He hires a Naga, and you cannot win with the Naga in the late game. He's just not. He just dies, or she dies too quickly. Yeah, see what she dies too quickly compared to the Torn Chieftain or even the Shadow Hunter. And Frost Arrows, as useful as they are right away, suck in the late game. And Fork Lightning is not too much better than Chain Lightning, which also sucks. So Check, in running back to his base, sees that the towers are going up, and this is bad news for him, obviously. Demon Hunter and Quillbeasts are basically the only source of damage because the Beastmaster is forced to run. You can see this; they do a fair amount of damage to towers just going up, but Eric's able to repair, and he gets that one tower up. The second one follows, and very good timing on his part. The towers both get up. So, anyways, is the game lost for Check yet? Definitely not. The towers are, only in range of the altar. He only has one Ancient of Wind up, but he does have his shop safely up. None of his Moonwells are out of position. They're going to be in danger just yet. But you can looking back, Eric already has a Demolisher on the way, and those are going to be obviously very important, as is the shop that he's building now. The Demolisher is going to allow him to apply pressure to the Moonwells without having to risk the Grunts, because the Grunts are going to take a lot of damage and probably all going to die to Dog Focus Fire into the Blade and to the Demon Hunter. So you'll see he's doing his best to chip away at the Moonwells, not only because it prevents Check from getting the army that he wants, but also because that's Check's main source of healing, that and the Ancient of Wonders, which is going to help him buy potions. One mistake I think Eric's made is he's sort of built himself into a little corner here. I don't know if it was intentional, but you see he's got a kind of a choke point created between the trees and the Voodoo Lounge, which is going to make retreating that Demolisher pretty hard to do. And on a few instances, it's almost going to cost him the Demolisher, which is not a huge deal, but anyway. I can't say that I've ever lost a game versus Night Elf when I had 4 towers safely up outside their base. I can't remember the last time I actually lost the game. I mean, you really need to make some pretty big mistakes. And here you go. That's what I was talking about. He has to use the speed scroll, and then even then he barely gets it out with 11 health. He saved the Demolisher. So pretty well done on his part. And another one should be coming. Let's see, another one's on its way as we speak. He hasn't built a Beast Cherry or anything else, because at this point, really, the towers are all you need for damage to the dots and to the heroes. And you can force, the weird thing about the Naga is the cold arrows force whatever comes in range of the towers to stay in range of the towers longer. So that's a nice advantage to that. And then, of course, the Demolisher is just pressure and you can take down the dots. There's not very much you can build out of the Ancient of Wind. It's not going to take damage from the demos. One thing I've seen a few really intelligent elves do, if you can delay the tower push, which it might have been delayed if Eric hadn't been smart and sent those peons out early. You can delay the tower push to when your winds are up. You can go Hippo Rider, and basically what happens is even if they have a Blade Master, Naga, and 4 Grunts and towers going up, you can use the Hippo Riders, which can't really be attacked by anything other than the Naga, to take out the towers as they're in construction, which is a really, really smart thing to do. But anyways, you're about to see Eric's smart and he's constantly buying health potions on his Demon Hunter because he knows it's only his Blade Master, and he knows because it's level 1 it's going to die pretty quickly. And Check's got to do his best to keep this Ancient of War alive, because it's pretty much the only thing that's going to tank those Demolishers and give his high damage but low health army any time to attack. So again, at this point, it's very difficult for the elf to win. I'm trying to be unbiased and give the elf player some tips. Truthfully, if he'd scouted those peons coming in, though, I don't think he would have lost this game. But then again, if Eric had not lost the Blade Master stupidly, then he wouldn't have had to rely on the kind of luck of the elf not scouting the towers. But anyways, you could see the effectiveness of what happened is he only has 1 Ancient of Wind still, another one later on, but he only has 1 right now, and he is forced to stay tier 2 right now. and a lot of that is because of how powerful and effective Eric's harass was on his wisps. And given that harass, the changes he made in strategy were very, very intelligent play on his part. Because again, no offense to Eric, but I'm not sure if he could have beaten Check. Grunt Raider Walker versus Matt Stocks. It's a difficult thing to do versus any elf. And of course, Check is a very, very good elf. I'm kind of puzzled by the fact that Eric's not pushing further into his base with towers. That's one of the advantages to this strategy, and something that I certainly would be doing, is building towers ever closer towards the Tree of Ages, and at the point that you can choke off their gold income, you've pretty much won the game. But if you see he's got 2 more Ancient of Wars going up, the more pressure you apply and the more towers you have, the less effective those Ancient of Wars become, and the harder it is for the elf to use them as tanks. But as it stands right now, he's actually got a chance, and the weird thing is that Eric put up a bestiary and he's building